Hi there, welcome to TDCatTech and welcome to Goods In number 33. Today I'm going to do things a little bit in reverse because, well, what's in this box? Basically, this. For those of you who are not familiar with this is an Apple TV Siri Remote control. And these are possibly the worst worst pieces of technology that have ever been designed. I mean, they are just terrible. Absolutely terrible. The reason I'm having to replace my remote control is because my son had it in his mouth at the top. He hasn't chewed it or anything. He just kind of had it in his mouth, which meant a load of dribble went in between here and here, the top. So this bit you can press this bit at the top. Dribble went in there, and all of a sudden we realised that the battery was just dying after about 12 hours. I mean, these things last weeks. Normally they can just last for ages, but the battery was dying after about 12 hours. This is now completely dead because this top section here, normally on an Apple remote you can tap here and you can swipe and things like that on this top section, and now the swiping just doesn't work. You can still press it and you still press the buttons here, but this swiping at this top bit now doesn't work at all either. So it looks perfect, but it's absolutely useless. So you, my friend, my remote control, can disappear. Hopefully this replacement will work, and also hopefully my son has learnt his lesson and won't dribble in the remote control. I mean, he's 6 years old. We're not talking about dribble as in uncontrollable dribble here. We're just talking about having it in his mouth and not really realising. So what I've ordered, I've gone overboard here, and these are a ridiculous price too. What a surprise for Apple to produce something that's rubbish and charge a fortune for it. You could get another Bluetooth remote, and we've got a game controller as well, which we use on the Apple TV. And no, I'm not putting a dig on Apple TV, because the Apple TV box itself is by far the best TV system I have used. When you ask people about Apple and they say, well, it's just because it works, and it kind of doesn't really mean anything. With the Apple TV, it does mean something, because it does just work. Other things I've used, Fire Sticks in the past and things like that, I've always had bits of software that kind of crashed and all that type of stuff. Not the case with the Apple TV. If it says it does it and it has the software to do it, it does it, and it does it well. So I'm totally happy with the Apple TV itself. Just this pooey remote control, which defies all logic when it comes to remote controls. So I guess I'm just moaning here, aren't I? Just using this. So this thing, 60 quid these cost to replace. 60 quid for a remote control. So what does it come with? Well, it comes with some booklets that tell you how to use the remote control. It comes with a lightning cable. Still useful today because the iPhone 12 has been released, and that is still a lightning phone, isn't it? Because Apple want to make loads of money. They get money when when other companies use their lightning connector on stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll tell you some story about saving the planet or something like that when it comes to the the fact they haven't moved to USB-C. But it comes down to money. They're a business. It comes down to money. Fair enough. Fair enough. So this. I want to hold this up to the mic to peel this back. Shall I hold it up to the mic, or shall I just hold it? No, I'll hold it up to the mic. Oh, look at that. That was actually a bit loud. So there we go. The new Apple remote. The old Apple remote. The new Apple remote. You could get these mixed up, apart from this. The side of this one's got all sticky edges where our 2-year-old has had his hands all over it. So, let me go into a little bit more detail around why this thing is complete garbage. Well, firstly, it's way too small. It's way too slippy and small for a remote control. It's slippy in the back of your hand. If you're holding a remote control, you want something decent to hold on to, don't you? Not something that's just kind of like, you've got to gingerly place in your hand like this and think, is it going to slip out of my hand? Is it going to slip out of my big sausage fingers? I don't even have particularly big hands, but yeah. useless in that way. The buttons themselves, yeah, they've kind of marked a few of them out, but there's no real clear distinction between them. The number of times I've picked it up and been like, oh, hang on, I'm on the shiny side, right, okay, I've got to turn it over. Then swiping between stuff on there, it's a nice thing, nice idea in theory, but swiping between stuff to find things, it's just not accurate enough. Just use a cursor system, you know, like any other remote control, just something you can press firmly, press solidly, and press positively. That's what you need, not this stupid swiping thing. But the benefit, so, you know, why didn't I replace it with a third-party one? Well, this does contain all kind of movement sensors and stuff, which are used on certain games and, you know, arcade stuff and whatever. So it does have other benefits to this remote control. So you get used to it, sure, but when you first use this, you just think, what a load of rubbish. Yeah, everything a remote control should be as far as functionality goes, this is not. Horrible. I can probably break that now too. So anyway, I've also spent $8.99 on this, which I'm hoping will do the job. It's probably going to make the whole thing look really chunky and disgusting. You can get a little... Oh, it's got a little lanyard on it as well. Look at that. Just in case I want to put the remote control around my wrist. I think I might take that off. It's just a soft case for it. Simple. Just got sort of bumpers around the side. It's meant to be, I guess it's meant to be childproof, right? So I suppose it says it's got magnets in. Do the magnets actually stick to the remote? Well, don't know. So I guess it just slots in like that and stays in place because the magnets are in place, and you have your remote control like that. So at least you've got something a little bit better to grip onto and hold onto. See, already that just feels to me more like a remote control should feel. I'm not sure about this bit. It just seems pointless. But yeah, you've got access to the lightning port at the bottom, and there's access to is it the microphone that's there for the Siri stuff? No, the microphone's there, I think, for Siri. What's that bit at the back? I'm not too sure. This bit at the top here, if you're wondering, this is infrared, because it also you can also control kind of standard infrared stuff on your television with it too, as you can with it's just standard remote control stuff really. But there you go. So that's a nice case that's like tripled the width of the thing, makes it look like a remote control. That's, I don't know, just makes it look a lot. Just doesn't make it look Apple anymore, does it? But I don't care, because you know what? If it stays in one piece for longer, I'm happy with that. It doesn't really stay in here particularly well, though. So this was $8.99 in this case. You can get them cheaper. You can get them more expensive. Seems okay. So there we go. That's it for today. This is the goods in. I suppose just a bit of a rant about Apple TV remote controls. Have you ever used an Apple TV? Have you got this version of it, the Siri Remote? I know the older versions had a much sort of, they were kind of silver in design and had a round sort of joystick control at the top, which is exactly what I would expect for a remote control. But they replaced it with this when not the current generation, the previous generation came out, and I've got the current generation 4K one. And yeah, have you got one of those? What do you think of it? I mean, have you ever got really used to it? I mean, honestly, have you ever got used to it when it's, even the Apple TV itself is useless. When it comes up with like an alphabet, and it starts sort of A here, and oddly enough goes right across to Z. So if you want to type in, let's say you just want to type in like AZF or something like that, you've got to go A, and then you've got to go wee all the way along to Z, and then you've got to go all the way back to wherever, there's no kind of up and down across a QWERTY keyboard. It's just left and right. It's awful in so many ways. And the other option, of course, is that as soon as when you have your phone connected to it, when it comes up with a box for you to enter some text, it prompts you on your phone. It kind of gives you a little nudge and sort of says, here you go, you can type it in on your phone if you want. But that's just not practical. Your phone might be, it's in your pocket or it's over the other side of the room or something like that. You want to just do it all on the remote control, and you want it to be decent on the remote control. And yes, you can use voice, you can use Siri, but we all know Siri's a load of rubbish. And Siri, you can say stuff into it and it just come up with something completely different. So anyway, there we go. That's my complaint and moan, 10 minutes about a basic remote control. Hope you've stayed watching. I would love your feedback as to what you think about Apple TV and whether you've used these before. But thanks for watching this Goods In video. I will see you soon.